What up, people? It's your boy Chick from Unit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumour show where I talk to you about rumours and news surrounding the Arsenal. Flip me, I look dog rough. I need a shave. Yeah, I need a shave. But please do stick a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we're going to go through some news because Monday kind of exploded with various different news, different bits of news. So I'm going to make sure that I talk to you about what happened. Sorry about that. So I'm going to talk to you guys about what happened. But as you come in, do slap a like on this video, and we're going to go through every bit of news and rumours from today. All right. First things first, let's talk about the major bit of news, and that is Matteo Guendouzi. Matteo Guendouzi has officially requested a transfer away from the club. We don't often get players that do this, but he's decided that he just needs to move away. I'm not going to respect that, to be fair to him. I think there were rumours that he was preparing to stay this time last week because he put out a Instagram message out there like, all right, back to work for Arsenal. But obviously he hasn't made the match day squad against Fulham or against West Ham. So people thought, well, what am I hanging around for? I'm not even in the squad. Like, what am I hanging around for? Ironically, today, him, Mesut Ozil, and Lucas Torreira, who I'll come to later, all trained today, which was interesting. But yes, Matteo Guendouzi has officially asked for a request. Then that story evolved, like completely evolved very, very quickly, in the sense that now Chelsea are supposedly in the race for Matteo Guendouzi. Chelsea are very much interested in bolstering their ranks. I think they've spent probably about 230 million, give or take, altogether in their transfers this summer. So they spent a lot of dough. But they are essentially trying to, bolster their ranks. Matteo Guendouzi as a commodity, I can understand why people might be tempted to take the risk. He's 21 years old. The boy clearly has talent. This is temperament that people can't be bothered with. But maybe Chelsea feel that they can nurture something out of him, or maybe they see something in him that they like. So I can definitely see. It doesn't particularly surprise me that Chelsea are interested in him. Whether he gets into a starting lineup with Chelsea, could I see a midfield of him and Kante? Maybe. But what Chelsea are trying to do is that they're trying to tempt us with an offer because no one seems to respect us to actually give us money. So it seems like when you come to Arsenal, I'll bun them either a loan or a swap, and they'll take it. Don't even offer them money. That just seems to be the attitude. How is it Chelsea that are the ones that are spending all this money in the transfer market? When it comes to Matteo Guendouzi, no. You come to Arsenal, so that's got to be some kind of swap deal. Oh, it pisses me off. But anyway, it is what it is. They've offered us several different players. The one that seems to be the favourite and the consensus from Chelsea's standpoint is Hudson-Odoi. The reason being is that he's actually a talented player. If you remember, Hudson-Odoi was being valued at 50 million at one point. I don't really know what the heck happened. Loftus-Cheek is another player that they're potentially looking at. Obviously, like for like type of midfielder. I used to really like Loftus-Cheek. I don't know if he's really kicked on the last couple of years of playing football. But he's not getting regular football, I guess, and that might be the reason. So they've offered us one of those two. The reason that those two are seen as one of the favourites is because I did say this about a few days ago. Our homegrown quota is starting to become a little bit of an issue because it's ironic because we're trying to get rid of players. Some of those players are homegrown players, and the Premier League demands that certain teams have a certain amount of homegrown players. So they feel that obviously by offering a Hudson-Odoi, who is, is he an England international? I know he's played for at least the under-21s. And then Also, what's his name? You got Hudson-Odoi, you got Loftus-Cheek. These are both at least England internationals of a certain level that Arsenal might be tempted to take the deal. The one that obviously everybody wants is, well, the only one I'd consider is Kante. They ain't going to give away Kante, are they? But let's be real. They ain't going to give away Kante. And actually, I said this on my Twitter earlier. If they did give away Kante, I'd be real suspicious. Like, like I would have some real Petr Cech type vibes going on. Like, why are they giving us Kante? So hopefully, you know, we get the best possible deal that we can out of Guendouzi. My attitude is 50 million or fuck off. You know, if they give us money at the end of the day that allows us to just get on with this damn Thomas Partey situation, take it out of Atletico Madrid's hands, you know, utilize his release clause. Supposedly he's agreed and they've repeated this today. Supposedly Partey has agreed personal terms. Just allow us to just get on with that deal and then focus on Aouar. In my personal view, I think it will be worth it, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But Matteo Guendouzi, at the moment, at least all we know at the moment is that he has officially requested to leave the club. And actually, to be honest, I don't necessarily blame him. I can completely understand. Let's talk about this young man. I did mention this yesterday, but there seems to be a little bit more development today. They believe that this, unbelievably, after 4 years, sorry if I sound a bit happy, it seems like we may finally, after 4 years, be about to sell Shkodran Mustafi. I never thought this day would come. So I did report this yesterday, but yesterday there were lots of rumours going around that we'd offered a deal to Lazio, and Lazio were very interested. We were looking for 15 million euros. Lazio were looking to do a deal closer to 12. So, I mean, we're not a million miles apart. So there was a feeling that that deal could be done. Shkodran Mustafi himself is very interested in the move. He likes the idea of going to Italy. I think he'd do well in Italy, actually. So there's a good feeling that this may be done. I mean, done this week. Obviously, we've only got 2 weeks left until the window closes, but there's a good feeling that this may be done. So I would say watch this space, but let's say it nice and quietly. I think we're about to sell Mustafi. Let's see what happens. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Should I depress myself and talk about this situation? Okay. Obviously, the other major story of today. Do you know what? I should really start with Torreira. Let's start with Torreira. So I did touch on this yesterday, and I did suggest that this would be the case. But it seems as though after a phone call from Simeone, Torreira, to quote this story, is in love with the idea of joining Atletico Madrid. Doesn't surprise me. Who wouldn't want to work for Diego Simeone? And actually, for me, I think that is a pairing that's almost a match made in heaven. You know, they're both South American. In fact, I think they're both Uruguayan. Just realized that. Huh. Yeah. So, you know, they're both South American. They're both, let's play it safe, just in case someone corrects me in the chat room. They're both at least South American. They're both, you know, tenacious. They both were and are tenacious players. Both have similar working styles. And I think anyone that might be able to unlock the potential that I still think Torreira has, I actually think would be Simeone. So I can completely understand this interest from Simeone. So they are very, very interested in Torreira. In fact, what has happened over the last couple of hours is that so much so this story has been rumbling all day. Obviously, lots of stuff talking about Thomas Partey. I'll come back to that situation in a second. But they actually believe that this deal might be quite imminent. What we don't know is if it's going to be a loan or if it's going to be a deal involving Thomas Partey. or if it's going to be just a straight out £22 million transfer. It should also be noted, very interestingly, that Atletico Madrid have also just agreed a deal with Marco Roca. Now, if you remember, this was a target from June. We were linked to Marco Roca. Espanyol midfielder, very, very good. Looks kind of in the mold of a Granit Xhaka type. Could spray the ball anywhere, left-footed, but in my mind, he looked better than Granit Xhaka. He looked like he could pass the ball short, can pass the ball long, very much in that sort of mold. Obviously, we've seen Torreira work with that type of player before because obviously he's been at Arsenal. So that seems like a nice natural pairing. But then it kind of makes you think, hold on. So you're bringing in two midfielders, but you're speeching this, well, we don't have any interest in losing Partey thing. Now, hold on. I'm going to have a little coughing fit. One sec. Okay, sorry about that. I love a cough button. Right. So that kind of makes me think to myself, So all I'm hearing is little quotes saying, oh, Simeone doesn't want to lose Partey and, has no intention of selling Partey. And unless Arsenal, meet the release clause, then Partey won't be going anywhere. But meanwhile, you are actively looking to replace Partey. And especially if you're spending money on Roca. All right, Roca's not going to cost them a lot. I think he's going to be 50 million euros. Let's assume that Torreira is a permanent transfer as well. So that's, 25 million euros? At some point, you're going to need some dough in, even if it's not quite the money you're looking for. So I'm a little bit suspicious about stories that say that we have no chance to go. Like, I saw a story from Arsenic, is that his Twitter name? Does tend to get a lot of stuff right. But one of the things that you quoted was saying that the Thomas Partey deal is definitely not happening. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah. So I'm very suspicious. Unfortunately, I feel like this is going to be one that rumbles and rumbles, maybe until the last day of the window, which obviously is not the ideal situation for any of us. But it feels like we're playing poker here now. I've got a feeling that this Torreira deal is going to be a loan, which is going to be frustrating. Because so nobody wants to buy, I get that times are hard in that, but no one wants to buy a £25 million Lucas Torreira. So I hope that whatever loan deal that we do with Atletico Madrid, I don't want no option. I want it to be an obligation to buy. I don't give a damn. It's taking a piss. So it looks like Torreira is imminently going to leave the club. Lots of the stories I see is that Torreira is looking like he's going to leave the club. What does this mean for Partey? I honestly don't know. It feels like there is a club that is planning for life without Partey. So, and maybe there is lots of little side things happening that we don't know about. We already know that Partey apparently agreed personal terms with Arsenal like a month ago. So we already know that all of that side of things is done, which is normal these days. Even when we speak about Aouar supposedly has agreed personal deals with Arsenal, or at least in principle. And it could just be a case of they've had a loose phone call. What sort of salary are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for X. Yeah, that's doable. That could be what the potential agreement is. And then once you actually have the formal go-ahead to start negotiating with the player, then you start negotiating little things like bonuses, performance rates, shit like that. So that's what I mean. Don't get it twisted, people. Like, read between the lines when I say, stuff has been agreed. So, I guess it's just going to be a waiting game. Obviously, we've got 2 weeks left. 2 weeks today until the transfer window closes. I'm expecting this to accelerate at some point. Based on the stories I'm reading, Lucas Torreira will be joining Atletico Madrid by the end of this week, in one form or another, in one form of deal or another. I mentioned, his history yesterday. For me, I'm happy for him. I am happy for him because I think somewhere along the line, He's a good player. I do think Arsenal fans overrated him, but I do think he's a good player. And I do think that actually Simeone will know how to get the best out of him, because Simeone is a world-class manager. So I think he'll get the best out of him. It just never worked out for Arsenal for one reason or another. So for his sake, I hope it works out. For our sake, I hope all of this struggle leads to this man, who, and I purposely chose this picture because we've got to keep in mind, we can't be arrogant with this. Yes, he wants to come to Arsenal, but at the end of the day, if Inter Milan are the only team to put money up, and he feels that he's been replaced at Atletico Madrid anyway, he could end up at Inter. I could see us completely playing ourselves into this situation. So we need to be clever. We need to be clever. We need to maintain dialogue with the player as well. And just be a little bit clever, just box a little bit clever here. So we'll see what happens. But as things stand, Torreira is imminently going to join Atletico Madrid, but we don't believe, or at least I certainly don't believe at this moment in time that includes Thomas Partey, unfortunately. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Obviously, you saw this deal go through today. Alex Runnison, yeah, he kind of spoke. He spoke about what sort of, what sort of player he is, and sort of player that he goalkeeper that we should expect of him. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have a lot of high hopes. I'm not really a big statistics guy, but when your statistics scare me off, I worry. So we'll see what happens. Lots and lots and lots of worries and rumors going on about Mr. Lacazette. I don't really know why. I guess it's because of the fact that, Alex Lacazette has, into the last 2 years of his deal, I never really expected us to offer him a new contract. So unless he decides that he's going to tear it up this season and score 30 goals, and keep in mind he's 2-2, I never really expected us to offer him a new contract. He doesn't deserve a new contract off the back of what he did last season. So I don't know why people are so like getting so aggressive with it. For me, I wish him well. I hope he scores. I expect him to stay this summer. I always told you guys this. I think he'll go next year. So I think that might suit all parties, because I would suggest next year might be a good time to bring in an Edouard, for example. So what you could do is, obviously, with Aubameyang being another year older, you could bring in an Edouard to learn from him for another couple of years, so that by the time Aubameyang either is retired or at the end of this contract, you got your ready-made goal machine replacement for him. I think this is just, to me, this is just sensible. Now, before people say, "Oh, well, what about Martinelli?" Don't get twisted, people. Martinelli can also step up as well. Why not have two people that can potentially do it? That's a lot of goals to replace. Let's face it. There's a lot of goals to replace. I would love to have two goal-scoring players that can do that. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, I want to come back on camera because I don't have pictures for everyone else, quite frankly. So let's talk about some backroom staff changes involving medical officer. 1 second. I've actually got to find that story. So let me close some flipping windows. But obviously, I think people remember the fact that Arsenal lost Chris Morgan, who was one of our medical advisors, to Liverpool. I think it was early August we lost him to Liverpool. So he joined Liverpool. I think he's one of their brand new physios. I think he's got now a brand new spanking title with it. Physiotherapy, yeah, that he does. So Arsenal have obviously been looking for a replacement for him, and they think they found him. Someone called Bruno Mazziotti, who is currently the PSG's physiotherapist. Is Brazilian, so you know that's an Edu hookup there. But yeah, they were both at Corinthians together. and also they work together for the national team. So it looks like he could be leaving his job where he's been at PSG for the last couple of years, and he's looking like it's going to come over to Arsenal. So I think that's some good news because Lord knows we pick up a lot of injuries, so we need to make sure our medical situation is on point. The last thing we need is for that to not be the very best it can be. So I'm all for that. But what do you guys even care about this? Do you have a particular opinion? Let me know. Again, leave it in the comments below. Guys, I will come into the chat room just to say hi and just answer a couple of little things. So bear with me for a sec. Just want to make sure I cover everything. Arsenal also, this is one story I did want to cover. Arsenal are apparently one of 10 teams that are interested in Reading midfielder Michael Alessi. He is 18 years old, I believe. Yes, he's 18 years old. He's had 2 assists, played 23 games. So you're probably sat there thinking, all right, we're not talking about someone that is a bangers, but he's 18 years old, to be fair. And if he's 18 and he's already getting, first team appearances in the Championship, which ain't the easiest league, and he's got himself a couple of assists, I wouldn't mind taking a look at him. And obviously, as I always tell you guys, you can usually tell the type of player. If you're unsure about, oh, I've never heard of him, you can usually tell the caliber of the player by the teams that are interested in. When 10 teams are interested in him, and some of those teams, some of those teams are people like Wolves, all right, Leeds are in there, Chelsea, City. This got to be a decent player. So he's only got 2 years left in his deal, and he is favourite to leave the club. But what do you guys think about this particular rumour? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. And do leave it in the comments below because as you guys have started to notice, I am responding to this. Arsenal and Liverpool are both interested in a possible deal for Lisbon defender Nuno Mendes. I've mentioned this story before. He's 18 years old, supposed to be about his life, supposed to be very, very good. He's got a £45 million Euro release in his contract, but they believe that Lisbon will be prepared to do a deal for 20 million euros. I know you're probably thinking, we're going to have time to do this. And I tend to agree, but the only thing I would say is that obviously we are trying to let Kolasinac go, aren't we? Arteta apparently told him officially he can bounce. So presumably, if we're letting Kolasinac go, then we're going to need to look for a new left back. And before people tell me Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he ain't no left back. So I think it wouldn't be a bad investment, especially if he's supposed to be that good. He's 18 years old, someone that could potentially push Kieran Tierney and maybe overtake him. I don't think there's anything wrong with competition. So it would be interesting to see what you guys think. Does anyone else know more about him than I do? Remember, this is a guy that's also being tracked by Liverpool. Liverpool are making the same little investment that we are. Just getting a little competition for their Scottish left backs. So, guys, let me know what you think and leave it in the comments below. I know you guys are waiting for news on this particular individual. Truth be told, nothing has really changed other than people have made us favourites to get him. And that is this young man, Houssem Aouar. He is obvious. I don't think we need any introductions. He is the person that I would suggest most Arsenal fans want the most. Excellent midfielder. Someone that I believe has all the potential in the world to be anything he wants to be. That's how good I think he could be. Well, supposedly Arsenal are now favourites to get him. They believe that the player really wants to come. They believe that Arsenal are so committed to this deal that they are prepared to sacrifice other deals for this player. That is how committed they are to dragging this deal over the line. So, man, when you hear shit like that, you think to yourself, flip. Okay, all right, I see you. So, but there's no real further developments on this. There's a gut feeling that this could run towards the end of the year. Sorry, to the end of the year, to the end of the window. I have my doubts about that because Lyon are after that AC Milan midfielder as a replacement for him. So they're going to need cash in order to get him. Now, yeah, that AC Milan midfielder who I've forgotten the name of temporarily is pissing me off, but someone in the chat room will let you know who that is. He's set to cost £25 million. So obviously the cash that they get from us could easily be used to get that guy. So I would say watch this space. Let's see what happens. But it's the only story that as I'm recording this, I have absolutely no update on whatsoever. So if you're wondering why I keep stuttering, it's because I keep trying to check just to see if there's anything on this. Like I see Runnison complete smooth, Aouar latest, but there's no Aouar latest. And then, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Yeah, nothing on that yet. So we'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Should get that on a t-shirt, shouldn't I? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, so let me come into the chat room and see what you lot are saying. Guys, please do slap a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let me take Aouar off. Let me put my beautiful face back on. And let me come into the chat room and see what you lot are saying. What do you think of the transfer stories? Is there any transfer story that you're hoping will happen? What do you think about the Guendouzi thing? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I see you lot are active in the chat, which is great. I like that type of stuff. Share the video around for anyone that you think might be interested. It is 11:30 as I record this. I am off to bed soon because I've got some shit I need to prepare for tomorrow. But literally, just first of all, like my man says, hammer them likes. Do me that favor before you bounce. Hammer them likes. And yeah, let's see what we're doing. Chig, my confidence is so low that we'll get anything done that's required. Carter, you've changed your tune because the last time we did a members stream, you were very confident. Speaking of which, my members stream, the other half might not be happy about that one. Let me reevaluate what I was going to say. It'll be on Thursday. It'll be on Thursday, my members stream this week. So look out for that. If you're a member, you can come kick it with me. We'll have a chat about certain things. Bust a cherry, most likely. It's not happened yet, but I think mentally we're all preparing to go back on lockdown. I still work from home anyway, but as of yet, we're still able to do certain things. Boris is just... but I suspect by next week, 2 weeks' time, maybe, I think that will change, to be honest. Should have sold Leno. Aouar is so overrated. So, Star, why do you say that? All right, here we go. Aouar is so overrated. All he does in his games, he's got 3 league goals. Okay, well, first of all, he's got 9 league goals, 10 assists. He's a number 8. Number 8s are not supposed to score goals necessarily. They're supposed to start plays. But anyway, everyone's allowed their opinion, I suppose. Why do I always miss the start of a video? Is it official that well, it's not. We know as much as we possibly can know without seeing the document. But yes, it's common belief that he's handed in his transfer request today. And I don't know why you missed the start of him, bro. I don't know, brother. YouTube, man. They tell me nothing's wrong with my notifications. But every week people tell me they're not getting notifications. Which, by the way, if you've not pressed the bell button, please do. Because the more of you that do, and then let me know that it's not working, the more I can bang the drum to YouTube. Big D's in the house. I hope you're well. Big up my guy Chid. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm losing faith. This club lacks ambition, pure and simple. I'd be amazed if we get higher than 8th. I heard that you and Claude took a massive uh, beating in the comments about something that I remember agreeing with, and I can't remember what it was. Ah, my brain's gone. My brain's gone. I'll come back to that, Diesel. But I remember thinking when I was watching that, I thought I agree with what you and Claude are saying, and I remember the comments are going ballistic, and I can't remember what it is. But I hope you're well, Diesel. I hope you're well. Big up, cheer. Good to see you again. I hope you're well, Omar. Usually asleep by now. Ryan, I got one. Eagle-eye. Big up, bro. Big up, Crow. I hope you're well. New name. New name. I heard Martinez was very good today. I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game because I didn't want to see Martinez in another kit that weren't ours. I'll be real with you. I didn't want to see it. But I heard he made some fantastic saves and saved a penalty as well. Do you think he's better than Leno? Very simply, yes. I said that the entire time. But for me, I didn't want to just say yes and then not make a constructive sort of argument for it. So I've always been trying to say, oh, well, at the very least, he should be keeping the number one spot and then waiting to see, if the two players compete for that spot. Now we've got some geezer who basically says, yeah, I like to play football even though I'm a goalkeeper. My man's acting like he's a Nigerian goalkeeper because that's what they do. Like, no, brother, I want to hear that you command your area, that you're able to come for balls comfortably, that you're able to close down shot. Oh, anyway, we know statistically that guy's shit. We know he is. So it does feel like we've weakened ourselves in that area badly. So I'm not happy with it. Not happy at all. For all of Arteta's, he likes to manage and sit down with the players and this, that, and the other. What happened in that situation? Why couldn't you manage that situation properly? That would be my question. The man saying Nigerian goalkeeper. Yeah, that's what we do, man. Nigerian goalkeepers like playing football. They don't like actually goalkeeping. I feel you, Diesel. Trust me. I feel you. Chig, I'm sick of this dumb fan base thinking, Ben coming out with aggression, thinking that Partey and Aouar deals are just negotiations. We should be patient, but this nonsense that Arsenal have a habit of fucking up deals in the past. To a certain extent, I agree with you. To a certain extent, I do agree with you. I do think that Arsenal fans are naive in thinking that these are just very simple negotiations. These are massive deals with massive players for massive fees of money. It's always going to take time. I think the only thing I would say is, as Arsenal fans, we're conditioned to being let down, especially in the transfer market. So from that perspective, I can also see why people are they're almost braced for being fucked, and not in a good way. They're braced in that position. They are braced in that position, and it's a shame because if you're a City fan or you're a Chelsea fan, heck, even if you're a Liverpool fan, all summer Liverpool been bluffing like they don't have money, but everyone really knew better. Then they came up last week and they were like, "Fuck this. Let's go and get Thiago. Thiago is the best player." My man came on at half time and he was the best player on that field when they played Chelsea. I'm waiting for Arsenal to do some shit like that. But we are braced to be fucked. And that's the problem. Ryan Smith. Chig, when I first saw you, you were Chiggy Chig. Chiggy Chig is Steph. It's Stephanie's nickname for me. But I've always been Chig. Chig is short for my Nigerian name, my bro. So yes, I've had it for years when people didn't know what my Nigerian name was. So yeah. Pick up the song, smash the likes. All right, guys. Let's do 5 more minutes before I bounce up out of it. Yeah, 5 more minutes. What are the alternatives to Aouar and Partey? I don't think there is an alternative for Aouar. Aouar is simply a dream signing for Arteta and the club, and I can understand that. I would have suggested that the person that might be a good alternative for Aouar is Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai has already stated about 5-6 weeks ago that he's staying at Red Bull's Salzburg. But otherwise, that would be a very good like for like. Partey, for me, it should be Sangara. We've been linked with Sangara a couple of times this summer. He's going to go for dirt cheap because Toulouse have been relegated. But he's 22 years old. He's 6'4", built like a brick shit house, and as a specialized DM. He's not, in fact, in a way, he's more suited to the job than Partey in some ways because he's a specialized DM. That for me would be a fantastic alternative. Whether Arsenal would bother going for it, I don't see it happening with 2 weeks left, to be fair. I could see probably Sangara ended up at Inter Milan, something like that. I did talk about that, Faisal. I did. You must have missed it. Rewind back about 20 minutes, you'll see it. Chig, I'm worried that we're not linked with any other midfielders that have defensive skills. Yes, I agree about that. I agreed about that. I am not going to confirm or deny. Mr. Gomez, I'm not going to confirm or deny my name. Because suddenly you have people here working and they'll find out all sorts of shit about you. So yeah. I would love Jimmy Matt. I would love summary. I would love summary. I don't think it's going to happen. I suspect summary will stay at Lille. Lille are doing good. I think they've started the season off quite well again. So I see him staying and getting a big move, maybe to a Barcelona next year. That guy is that good. So I think he could do it. So yeah, I don't see him going anywhere. The one I see leaving purely because his team has been relegated is Sangara. He'll make sure his agent finds him a move. Not favorably. Oh, by the way, thank you for your donation, my bro. I appreciate that. I don't rate our midfield particularly highly, Norman. We have a midfield that anchors but doesn't chase. And I think a good example of that was the success that West Ham were having on Saturday. You know, a lot of what we're good at is anchoring the ball, trying to intercept, putting the ball over the top. What we're not good at doing is getting control. I did say this during Lee's watch along that I miss us having a midfield that can grab a ball and control it. You know, Santi was excellent at that. Even Coquelin was excellent at helping Santi do that. But we don't seem to have that anymore. We don't have because Granit Xhaka can't run, and you know Sabas is not a defensive midfielder, so we don't have anyone that can control that midfield like we used to. So yeah, I not very highly is the answer to that question. That's why I think people are so committed to the Partey-Aouar partnership, because if you had those two in there, those are the two types of. That is a midfield that controls a midfield. You've got a Partey that would win the ball back and that is capable of passing himself. And you've even got on Aouar, who, as great of a passer as he is in starting plays, that boy can tackle as well, you know. He's a tough little bastard. So I think in that you have a midfield that can control the ball. This for me is why I would also, and Ben will know this, I've always said personally, regardless of what happens, I would make that little investment on Sangara for 10 million euros. Because the way I'd see it is, yes, you can get a Partey, yes, you can get an Aouar, but when you play these bigger teams who's a massive team like a Brighton, who you know we've historically struggled against, why not put two DMs in there? Why not, especially away from home, why not put two DMs in there? One that can establish control or can win the ball back, a Sangara, and then another one that can start up a play, which Partey is very capable of. I'd make the purchase for both of them. Go and get both. Really strengthen the core of that midfield. Then let a Guendouzi go. Then let a Torreira go. You're losing two midfielders. Bring in two. You know? Let them go. Then, yes, and I know part of my motivation is that you then phase out Granit Xhaka. Phase him out. You know? But this is just me spitballing here. Whether we'd actually do something like that is another thing. But that's personally what I would do. I think the chances of Arsenal doing that is slim to none. But I think we desperately need help in the core of our midfield. We desperately need help. You know, we're the only team in the world that's had a defensive problem over the last 4 years. We brought in 8 different midfielders and still have a problem with our defense. At some point, you got to look elsewhere. You got to look elsewhere. Like, hold on, maybe it's not just the defense here. You know, maybe it is the core of our midfield. You know, for all the things that people say about, oh, well, Granit Xhaka is this, Granit Xhaka is that. Granit Xhaka can't run. So unless you have a runner next to him, and bless Ceballos, I think he's doing a good job in a different type of role. But at the end of the day, he's not ADM. So at some point, you need to come up with a long-term solution. But anyway, I digress. Don't know why people are talking about BLM and criticizing BLM, but okay. Let's not do too much of that. Ceballos is average at best. Teams break through lines is too easy. Over 200 people watching. Yes, please. Like my man Diego says, please help me do that. That'd be fantastic. On the road to 10K, firmly on the road to 10K now. Let's see if we can get to 92. If we can get to 92 this week, that'd be great. That would be fantastic. 2 years ago, buying Torreira and Guendouzi was such a waste of money. Barely been in the squad since Emre left. I think the plan was that both of them would have kicked on. Certainly for me, I thought Torreira would have kicked on. Guendouzi, I was prepared to be a little bit more patient for due to his age. I still see something in Guendouzi, but I think the way he deteriorated towards the back end of the season and then obviously got into the whole Brighton thing, it just made me think, oh, maybe it's just best to cut our losses here. Do you think Guendouzi would join Chelsea, Chig? Maybe. I think he would want a big move. I think he'd want a big move. Apparently, he's rejected all sorts of teams. Like he's rejected a return with Unai Emre. He's rejected a Valencia move. He's rejected a Lyon move. He's rejected all sorts of moves. So, and I suspect he's done that because he wants a big move. Because the only people that I've heard him being interested in is Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, and now potentially Chelsea. Why didn't we go for Doucouré if we didn't get Partey? Oh, they're taking Doucouré too? And they're taking Doucouré too. All right, but this is not the forum for your questions, my guy. It's especially because, for obvious reasons, I'm black. So I'm not going to start cussing up people standing up for black people, am I? Torreira needs to go. Not good enough. Has a serious fitness issue. Can't seem to last a game. Too quick for him over here. I would agree with that, Diesel. I would. Like I say, he's not really. For me, I think it's even more than that. I just think tactically he doesn't understand his role enough. I think he just plays and doesn't play with any kind of positional sense, in my personal opinion. So, yeah. Robert does not trust Arteta over any of the board. Interesting. I mean, they haven't necessarily given you a reason to do so I can understand that. Chig, out of all the English players at Chelsea that's been mentioned in a swap deal, who would you want to get any of them? For Guendouzi, I'm not really interested in any of them. I've always kind of liked Loftus-Cheek, but part of me kind of thinks, like, why hasn't he kicked on? That's kind of always my kind of thought process with them. And it makes me a little bit wary of getting him. I think a lot of people like Houssem Aouar. For me, I just think, like, why do we need another attacking midfielder? Well, sorry, another winger. Maybe he can be an attacking midfielder, but I don't see any potential vision there. So yeah, I'm not sure I would, but I can understand. Mason Mount, maybe. Tammy Abraham, I would agree, does probably have the highest appeal to me, because obviously, not just because he's Nigerian, but because I think he potentially has, I think he's much better than Eddie, for example. So maybe him, but I just want cash. Why is it when teams come to us, we have to deal with loans and swaps? Why can't we ask for cash? Aouar and Sangara would do it for me. Me too, Chris. See, Chris is a sensible, you know? They're sensible. Georgie's in the house. Torreira should go out with a bang versus Leicester, red card. And we'll still win. Georgie, don't worry about that. Guendouzi is worth 40 million. They should pay that. They should pay what will allow us to get Thomas Partey. Then I think it'll be worth it. If we're going to strengthen a rival, then we should make it worthwhile. That's my view on that. Yeah, I think Torreira. I think Simeone will love Torreira. I do. I do. I think if anyone could get the best out of him, it's him. All right, 3 more questions and I'm bouncing up out of here. First things first. Mr. Soup. Why can't we expect cash? Because when we go for players, we always want swap deal. Sangara, Soamir, Szoboszlai would all be cheaper than Aouar and Partey together. I would go for 3 of them, but they have to want to leave. Summary, I think will stay at Lille, like I said earlier. Sangara, I think it's just waiting for someone to go and grab him. And Szoboszlai has already said that he's staying at RB Salzburg. So, yeah. 100% agree with this. 100% agree. When it comes to Arsenal, for some reason, there's always some funny shit. Ian Wright was on my first jersey. He was the one that I idolized as a kid. You know, being a black guy that played for my local team, 100%. You know. Do you know what? I'll end with this. I've done a video on this, Konzi, so I'm not ignoring your question. But I've literally done a Premier League prediction video on this. So go check that out. It's in my it's in the video archives. I only did it like 4 videos ago, 4 or 5 videos ago maybe. Adam, this is a good question to end on. So people always ask me every so often, because I said when everyone thought this deal was dead from 4 months ago, that I felt that there was a chance of it happening, and I put a percentage on it. I lowered that percentage maybe 2 weeks ago. My percentage on this happening now is 27%. That's my gut feeling. Not because I know I'm an ITK and I know this and I know that. But the one thing that I suppose all these years of looking at transfer rumors does is that it allows you to make sense of what you think is possible and what you think isn't. And I just feel like, for me, in my personal opinion, I just feel like I don't feel like it's done just yet. I feel like common sense hopefully will prevail and Arsenal will make a big play for Thomas Partey before the door's shut. Why it has to take this long, I don't know. But I in my personal opinion, I'm going to say 27%. Don't ask why I said 27. I'm just going to say 27. So let's see what happens. It is what it is. Omar, keep saying that, my bro, because you are literally the antithesis of jinxing it in a good way. So whenever you say something won't happen, it tends to happen. So I'm hoping you keep saying this. But please, like my guy says, please do stick a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And yes, feel free to join the membership. Who would be better for the team? I've said that before. I think it'll be Partey. Partey is the player that we've missed for the longest. He's the type of player we've missed for longer than anything else. So, yeah, Partey for me. All right, then. I am going to head up out of here because I'm tired. I need to get some sleep. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, wherever you are in the world, or if you're in Tuesday, have a good Tuesday. Take care. I'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully, there'll be some progress. Take care. Peace.